What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. Today I'm going to show you how to wrap the hood on an Infinity Q50 in one piece using Hexus Light Blue Chrome. Hexus Light Blue Chrome, or Hexus Chrome in general, only comes 54 inches tall, which is shorter than a standard roll at 60 inches. So we're losing a bit of film there. Makes it a bit more challenging when we're doing bumpers and things like that, because the bumpers usually stand close to about 30 inches tall. Maybe 27, 28. So we're not really able to divide the roll in half to get two bumpers out of one cut as we normally do. Also, a lot of hoods are larger than 54 inches or close to it, at least in one direction. At least in both directions. This one, we're lucky, it's about 51 inches or so, 52, 51 inches, not too bad. And it's about 68 inches wide. Nothing too crazy as far as the hood goes. And this hood is actually pretty straightforward when it comes to wrapping. The products that you're going to need to use today is a fresh buffer, because it's very important that you have a very clean buffer on your squeegee. That's that blue guy right there. We're also going to need a knife, so fresh sharp knife, heat gun, soap and water, okay? If you can't get like Vvivid Shield Guard or some kind of a lubricating spray, get some soap and water. Make it nice and soapy, and you're gonna use that to squeegee, basically. Not under the wrap, but on top of the wrap. We've got compressed air, I have a hose right here, and we have our film already cut. Let's take another rag and a bit of Tack Reducer. You can apply this to a sponge. I actually have sponges, I forgot them. They're at the house. I'm slowly transitioning the stuff that I've been keeping at my house now for a couple of months in order to get this shop open. So didn't remember to bring everything yet. No big deal. We're gonna take the Tack Reducer. This is Vvivid Tack Reducer. This is going to substantially reduce the tack of the film. This film is so sticky. Chrome is usually a one-shot deal. You do not want to crease it. It has a protective cap on it right now. We want to leave that on for this part, at least for this part. It's very hard to install with the cap on, so I don't recommend it. As you might see me do on some of the flatter area of this hood, I might actually leave some of the cap on. But it just makes it a little bit more difficult. It reduces the amount of swirl marks and scratching you get, but you can't stretch and set yourself up properly with the cap on. I'm gonna move this over a bit so I have plenty hanging off. I have a couple of inches here. Throw a magnet down. I'm only about 1.5 inches past the top corner. Don't need a lot. Plenty on this side. I've got about 3 inches or so, 3-4 inches. Plenty. And we should be pretty good right around here. Just gonna double check everything. I don't wanna have to move the film once I remove the release on it. I don't wanna have to move it like fit it to the panel. It's fine to lift it, but you also want to try to avoid doing that as well. You just don't want to try to slide it around too much or try to get your corners that you should have gotten right off the beginning. So as I remove the release liner, I'm going to keep the protective cap on. This helps tremendously keep the vinyl more flat and straight. The cap is very thick. By the time I finish removing the protective cap and the release liner, the film is going to be like 1/3 of the thickness that it was. Do not crease it. It's very important you do not crease this. Put that out of the way. You should actually fold that up right away. I mean, on my white floor right now, it's almost disappearing. Can barely see it. Cool. Let's fix this up a bit. I'm gonna start at one end and come across. I'm gonna put a magnet here. I'll start the other end right here. I'm definitely not happy with this spot. It's mainly right up here. That's this is where all the wrinkles are. You can see the other side is much nicer. It's just a matter of getting the film up a bit. Super stuck. Gotta get tough. I'm gonna lift the whole side up again and try this side one more time. I wanna hit that middle nice and tight. Come on, don't do that again. Might be better. Let's start squeegeeing some of it down. Soap and water. Let's open this up a bit. This is just gonna help your squeegee glide much easier. You can really wet it pretty good on the outside. I'm not concerned at all about the fluid getting underneath. Just pop the back up here and get these wrinkles out. Imagine doing this without Tack Reducer. I couldn't even imagine. By far, the most aggressive and sticky film I have ever used, by far. We're gonna hold it up a little bit and get some of these bad boys out. Cool. I like to hold the film up. Helps get the wrinkles out. Should be doing okay, especially down here. The fact that the squeegee glides more effortlessly helps. Now the protective cap is actually causing some resistance, so it's causing the film to sort of pull back a little bit because the cap doesn't want to stretch. It's very, very strong. To remove the cap on this is a bit tough, but I cut a little slit, then I tear it slightly, which makes it so that there's two different layers usually, and then you can see that the top layer actually tears away at a different rate than the film itself. And then you can get your blade in between there. They say to use tape to do this. I've tried it like 100 times. I just can't seem to get it to work. Sometimes I can manage to get it to work with my hands, but let's get this off anyways. What a beauty. Okay, now I'll be able to stretch it. Much thinner, guys. It's insane how much thinner this is right now. It actually feels like normal. And see how I can just stretch that out. It's perfect. I'm gonna keep this elevated here. Still water and soap and water on my squeegee. I try not to make too many weird lines. I try to put everything the same way so that at least if there are some swirl marks, they all run in the same way. Good. I should be able to fix all this now. Let's give it a shot. Draw that across. Okay, we're doing okay. Squeegee all of this. Especially where there is no Tack Reducer, it's really going to try to lock in air. Like down here on the bottom. Cool, that's okay, we're good. Got one little bubble there, let's just push down on that. Good. Let's get a little more soap and water action. One thing is when you're, let's open that up more. It's weird. It's a little too much now. And still too much. One thing is when you're wetting it like this, you don't want to heat the film because you will get burn marks in the film basically. They're like water droplet burn marks. One thing to keep in mind there. Then I'm always looking underneath to see where my hands are going and making sure that they're not going on the area of the hood that I'm gonna be wrapping. Keep them on the outside, okay? Okay, I'm gonna keep that elevated and start locking a bit of that in. Let's get all this air out of here. Helps, again, helps to hold the film up. Try to squeegee as nicely as possible. Let me get down here on my knees. Will help. Very tough. You know, now you can imagine what bumpers are like. I'm going to show you this bumper too. Don't want to stretch too much, just a bit. Make sure I don't get any water underneath it. This is too big, that wrinkle. I have to come up a bit higher. And I'm watching where my hands are going. There we go. Pull that out. Just try and do it all flat. And doing this does help to have those extra hands. One bubble there. Just making sure I've gotten everything. As far as this goes, it's looking pretty good. Okay, let's tidy up this area. There's my finger, push down on those guys. Water underneath it again, so I'm going to pop up slightly. There we go. I can see my handprint right here on the very edge, so we have to be, again, mindful where our hands are going. Most of chrome wrapping is like material handling and how to do that. Whew. Now this film, I usually wrap a little bit more around the edge. Hexis is a weird film where you've got to really post-heat it, and post-heating the chrome isn't really that ideal. You can, you just have to be very careful. So I will heat it, but to ensure that it stays there forever, I'm gonna not heat it quite as much as a full post-heat. What I'm going to do here is lift up a bit and try to lay into this recess as much as possible. Come on. So that's why I put Tack Reducer on this top edge, because I didn't want it to stick too much. It seems to be sticking anyways. Can you guys actually imagine this without it? I honestly can't. I have done it without it, but it's, man, it's hard. If we're not careful, we'll get glue lines as well, so we have to be mindful of that. Flatten that out a bit more. Jeez. The directions to pull this are similar, but the film doesn't like to shrink back, right? It's different. It likes to stay exactly almost where you put it. So I'm used to recoil, and it just takes some getting used to again to get used to that recoil. Used to the fact that it doesn't really recoil, actually. So that's what I meant. Good. Lots of streaks, it's no problem. Let's get over here and cut away a bunch of film. Don't need all this. All right, here's the tough part, is getting this edge down. So I'm gonna have to heat. Let's get that straightened out. I'm gonna have to heat it somewhere around here. Watch out for those water droplets, like I said. We're gonna bring the film up to temperature slowly. Put my hands over top. Cool, I'm gonna hold it and squeegee it. Okay, I'm gonna try and do this without adding any heat now. Squeeze that out a bit. Again, ideally, it would be nice to just lay it in. Just lift it off the buffer right now. There we go, it's stuck there. Let's cut away my excess. Have a bit more film on this side. There we go. Let's get that back down. Let's keep a little tension on this and start laying it in. Helps to, again, have those extra hands even to hold the film up. Reason why I can squeegee over wrinkles, a lot of wrinkles, is because I have the film lifted and I also have fluid on my squeegee. The fluid helps a lot, and also having the film lifted helps a lot. One bubble here. There we go. Keep that film tight. I'm basically pulling along the hood, across the hood. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop the hood up a bit more. I'm gonna start heating all these edges down. Got a little bit of pullback here, teeny tiny bit. Let's fix that right now, done. Let's take a little walk around right now before we do anything. It's all looking good. Getting it lifted off the panels here will help. Should be okay now. Maybe the hood will stay there. If not, I'll grab the other bottle. I just want the hood to be elevated a bit, somewhere around there. This way it's kind of like a table. All my edges all the way around are sticking up. We're gonna heat all these edges quite a bit, okay? Want to heat from the top, let them come down and around. Then pass your finger over top. Make sure there's no wrinkles, like there. Sometimes I just pull on a little bit to roll it around and just keep everything flat. This heat part is so important, guys. I can't even stress it enough. You need to seal in this work. The chrome gets extremely hot. It retains heat a lot. It retains a lot of heat. So when you're squeegeeing it right now, like with your glove, your hand tends to get hot. I move my hand away every once in a while because my glove gets really hot. Over here is the easiest part of the hood because we know we don't really have any stretch back here. So there's not a whole lot to worry about. Doing the corners, not really much different than most things. I just massage the film down and around. Good. All right, let's finish at the back. Cool. Ready to cut. I'm gonna move the camera back so you can see the cut. Let's finish up that cut and then go over with heat one more time. I'm gonna start with the back as I always do, right over here. Come all the way around. Fix up the bottom here, come around the corner. Trim it off as close as possible to that corner, that bottom side of that corner. Let's continue by pulling down on the film, which helps give me that nice straight line. Almost to the top here. As I'm cutting, I'm looking, I'm seeing, I'm watching what's happening. I have just a teeny tiny bit more than I normally do on the bottom side. Just note how I rest my hand on the edge of the hood. This makes it much easier to cut straight. See how easy that ripped? Huh. I'm not even sure why it ripped, but it did. I didn't cut it. You want to get down low so you can see. Get those magnets out of the way. Usually I always end up leaving them there and they always end up being in my way. Let's finish up this side here. Hold on to the back piece. Good. This all needs to be run over with heat, and then the hood is finished. So let's do that. Be thorough with your corners. Be thorough with your edges. When you're post-heating like this, it's very important to not touch the top. You'll leave a mark in the film. When I have a little bit extra film, I usually end up rolling it a little bit first, and then I glide over it afterwards. The reason why I roll it first is so that when I'm gliding across, I might get a wrinkle if I have too much film. If I roll it, I won't get that wrinkle. You're probably asking yourself why you have to heat it and then cut it and then heat it. You have to heat it and cut it and then heat it because you have to heat it twice because when you're cutting it, you could be pulling the film away slightly at the same time. The film could be coming off the edge. So it's very important to go over afterwards and make sure everything is sealed down and tight. No matter how many times I cut, there's always a little bit that has to be pushed down afterwards. Doesn't matter how I cut or how carefully I cut. Very good. Let me get it wiped off and I'll take you for a grand tour. Put that bottle back down so I can wipe it. Well, it's like this, without the hood latching. So is that a little air? I thought I saw a little air there. To wipe it off, I'm just going to use a little soap and water. I don't know how clean it's going to come, but there's already soap and water on it. I don't have, I need to get like a little wax spray, a little detail spray. That would help. You can't wipe it off with isopropyl alcohol, that won't work. It'll just streak a lot. Just gently squeegeeing, or sorry, wiping. And to be honest, there's very, very few swirl marks in this. I'll show you. Any swirl marks that are not caused by, if they're caused by dirt, sorry, if they are caused by dirt, that's a problem. Those will be deeper. Any swirl marks that are just from the squeegee or the buffer will just heat right out. There are some, it's not like there's none. So let's take you for a tour of the actual surface of it. All right, as I mentioned before, there will be some lines. You can see some, okay? These are very, very minor compared to how many there could be. Just 0 in here. Look at the reflection off of the ceiling there. You can see everything really nicely. See the camera very nicely. You can see everything almost crystal clear. Some waves to it a little bit, but all the mirror itself, the mirror finish is great. Again, there are those stone chips, you'll see them. You actually see them a little bit more in chrome than most films. Saw another one here. You can see how it sticks out. These are things I could do nothing about. There's another one back there, as you might have noticed already. I already saw those. But for a car that's like 6 years old, sorry, yeah, about 6 years old, I guess, it's pretty decent. There's a corner. Then another little stone chip thing there. Let's check out the other corner. Oh, yeah, and you can see those swirl marks. You can see them more here. See them? Again, I have a lot of light in here. Each one of those dome lights is 21,000 lumens, and I have 6 of them, plus the halogens. On the underside, it's pretty standard as always. Maybe just a teeny tiny bit more underneath, but nothing crazy. All the way down and around. And that right there is how you wrap the hood on an Infiniti Q50 in Hexus Chrome. I hope this video was informative and helpful in showing you what to do to make your life a little bit easier. 2 people, much easier. Tack Reducer. Tack Reducer is like having 2 more people on top of your second person. Without it, you're probably not going to be able to do this without multiple people. I've seen people install Chrome, Hexus Chrome, with like 4 or 5 people, simply because it's just that difficult to do. Again, I do it alone. I have tools that help to get the job done. I showed you how to do it. The wrap turned out great. There's nothing wrong with it. It looks perfect for the most part, other than the imperfections in the hood. But again, with practice, patience, experience, you'll be able to get to this point. Again, this is a more advanced installation. This is not something easy by any means. You saw me struggle with it. It doesn't normally take an hour to wrap a hood. If in a normal film, I probably would have been done 15, 20 minutes, as if you've watched the rest of my videos. So you see how much longer it takes to actually do something like this. Guys, I'm looking forward to doing more videos for you. Again, thank you for watching. I appreciate it very much. Take care.